Hi, my name's Andrew Gray. I'm one of the directors for BioQuisitive. BioQuisitive is a do-it-yourself biology lab located here in Brunswick. We also refer to it as a community science lab because effectively what it is a science lab run by community. We're located at 124 Weston Street in Brunswick. You can find us at www.bioq.org.au if you're interested in learning more about what a community science lab is and what it can do for you. So yeah, don't hesitate to get in touch because we're all here trying to spread access to science. Fungi's been a really popular topic for BioQuisitive. We support a lot of other organizations in allowing them to do the science that they're looking to do. So Mycology has a huge following. It's very important because of this talk of biomaterials, things like mycobricks, using waste products to get new materials. And what we do primarily is we support a particular community organization called MYCOommunity. You can find them at www.myco.org.au. But they do a lot of work together to bring about education around the topic of fungi, working with fungi, growing fungi, raising awareness towards its different applications, whether it's environmental remediation, detoxifying environments, biomaterials, you name it. So we provide a space for that to happen. We provide a space to a lot of other organizations as well that are looking to get science done that can't access that science effectively. So that might be an inability to go to like university, for example, and rent a lab there because it's quite expensive. So we set up a lab here specifically for those types of situations. Fungi is really interesting because there's so much you can do with it. It's very accessible. It's very low tech. So turning something like a waste product, for example, a little fun project that I was doing with my community was trying to create a mailbox out of waste products. So this is Ganoderma on sawdust, and what I was hoping to do is make a mailbox that could eat your junk mail. So you just leave the mail behind that you don't want in there and it would just eat it for you, so you don't have to worry about throwing it away or anything. And we're testing that, and yeah, sure enough, you know, you put some paper or any kind of carbon source on a living piece of fungi and it's gonna break it down. It's what it's designed to do. But more interestingly, you know, there's this talk about biomaterials, and there's a lot of interest in working with biomaterials like vegan fungi, mushroom leather. So we again try to support those types of projects whenever they come our way, or help a lot of would-be biodesigners, you know, and learning about how to interface with scientists if they want to start working with biomaterials or other similar types of textiles. You know, how do they approach a scientist to start asking them for help? Because you can't just say, hey, do the science for me. You know, everybody's very busy, so it's important to know where to start. And we're kind of an informal gateway into that, I think. MYCOommunity is another amazing organization dedicated specifically to making, I guess, work and awareness towards fungi a reality here in Melbourne and across Australia. It first formed when we were actually doing a workshop here on DNA sequencing on fungi. So people brought in their own fungi samples. We were doing DNA sequencing on that, on those samples, and then I think that first group of people came through, realized how passionate they were about fungi when they started talking, you know, outside of the workshop. The next thing you know, it became, you know, it was the beginning of the organization. Since then, this organization has gone on to do a lot of amazing workshops teaching the public about fungi, what you can do with it, fun little things like, you know, learning how to make products out of waste. So this is a mycobrick, which I spoke about earlier. And they look at a lot of other stuff as well. So such as, you know, identification with a microscope, staining, spore identification, lots of other growing techniques. We have a fungi library that MYCOommunity looks after. So you can bring in and swap different strains of fungi that are, you know, held in stasis in sterile water. And we're hoping to start, I guess, getting people to test these different fungi in different means, especially when we start thinking about biomaterials. So MYCOommunity has been kind of leading the charge and trying to make fungi a bit more accessible for everybody here in Brunswick and in Melbourne.